Okay, everybody, bear with us. Had a little bit of technical problem here, but I think we got it squared away now. Zoom had an update, and Kevin will be joining momentarily. The joys of technology. Again, we had a little technical difficulty. We're getting set up here, and we'll be going in just a few minutes live with the End Zone.
What up?
I was just explaining we're having a little technical difficulty, but we're getting ready to go live with the End Zone.
All right, where's the direct link here? I want to share it out.
There yeah, I think it was the Zoom update. There was an update to Zoom the other day.
Oh, of course, we love those Zoom updates, don't we, people? There we go. All right, let me just get this out. Hello, YouTube. All right. Uh-oh.
Jen was getting impatient.
All right, let me go to some Twitter love here. Trying to find the link here. Hold on. Videos. There we go. All right. Want to make sure. Get some chat available here. If anyone actually shows up. All right.
Okay. The days of technology. We had a little problem with some dilithium crystals for Union Federation too. But that will happen thanks to Apple and Microsoft and Zoom for all kinds of updates. And of course, you don't find out about all those updates until you actually log into things. So
this is true. Yes.
Even more makes things even more enjoyable. But Kevin, are you ready to talk some football?
Yeah, let's talk some football, man. Let's do this. I'm a little bummed and depressed at being a Raider fan right now, but let's see what we can do.
Okay, well, let's get this show on the road. Let's kick off the End Zone. And welcome to the Endzone, where apparently we even got affected by COVID at the start of the show. So
Don't joke about that.
I know. Just it was a crazy week 4. Week 5 is off to already a crazy start. But before we get into any of that, I'm going to let you know where you can find not only Endzone Live here, of course, on our Fandom Podcast Network YouTube channel, but all the great shows of the Fandom Podcast Network. And it starts at our master feed on our homepage at fpnet.podbean.com. And of course, if you're using your mobile device, you can also download the Podbean app and search for the Fandom Podcast Network. And I am happy to announce we are officially on all major podcast catchers, with scoring our last one being Pandora. So now we've been on Spotify. We're everywhere.
What about the can and the string? Are we on that network yet?
We were on that before this was even a thought. and of course, too, you can follow us on social media. Visit the Fandom Podcast Network's Facebook page. There's always interesting discussions going on there. Of course, you can email us directly to at fandompodcastnetwork@gmail.com. Follow us on Instagram, Fandom Podcast Network. Follow the network on Twitter at FanPod Network. Of course, I'm Kyle. You can follow me on Twitter at AKyleW or on Instagram, AKyleFandom. Kevin, I think people know where they can find you, but why don't you give them a reminder?
I'm on Twitter and Instagram under Spartan_Phoenix. Of course, also on Facebook, Kevin Reitzel.
And there's a couple great ways you can support the Fandom Podcast Network. First and foremost, our TeePublic store. You can find the gear of not only the Endzone, but all the great shows of the Fandom Podcast Network, whether you need a t-shirt, a pillow, a laptop case, tapestries, hoodies, whatever. Fall's coming. You could use a hoodie, and we still need some masks. They even have masks over at TeePublic as well. Go to teepublic.com, search the Fandom Podcast Network, or type in the name of your favorite show on the Fandom Podcast Network. Of course, too, we love reviews, especially on Apple Podcasts or iTunes for you Windows users. We love those 5-star reviews, but we just love the feedback in general, because as always, we're striving to give you better podcasts to feed your ears. And of course, obviously, if you're watching us live right now, and we hope you are, exclusive here to the Fandom Podcast Network YouTube channel, go to our YouTube channel, give our shows some likes, subscribe so you don't miss live events like this. And we got some stuff. Holidays are coming up. We got some fun things planned. We're going to have a little bit of a pointy teeth Halloween month here at the Fandom Podcast Network, especially when it comes to certain shows. Kevin, did you get that blood transfusion I told you to get before October started?
Yes.
Yeah, you got the extra supply in your fridge.
Yeah.
Because we're going to talk a lot of vampires this month.
Yes, we are. October is going to be officially Vampire Month, starting this Friday, right?
Yes, this Friday.
Yeah.
The Lost Boys.
The Lost Boys come out. Yes.
Yeah, on Couch Potato Theater. So that's gonna be
fun. Lost
fun.
Boys coming out, and then we got a little bit of Near Dark coming out, and then we'll have Blade.
Right? If we're gonna have the vampires, we got to have the Hunter.
Right. We got Blade, and then we're gonna have our own Devil's Night. Not vampire-y, but definitely another immortal.
Yeah, The Crow live, Couch Potato Theater, October 30th, Devil's Night. The Crow is a very powerful movie for both Kevin and I for a lot of reasons. It's going to be a intense but very good live Couch Potato Theater. So we're looking forward to that. But Kevin, you got some shout outs to get, and shout outs to everybody who's streaming. Again, sorry for a little bit of the late start, but technical issues. But you have a shout out, Kevin. Are you sure you want to shout out anything Raiders this week? Just saying, because it is that week.
Really?
I was good. I could have went there a lot sooner, but I'm gonna be nice.
You're not gonna let me have this intro to celebrate some people, really?
No, absolutely. Celebrate all those wonderful Raider fans out there.
I want to give a shout out to the Silver and Black UK fan club there in London, headed up by Ollie and Mitch and Tony. They have started their own live YouTube and Facebook Raider show, and they're about 3 or 4 episodes in, and it's great is they do 2 shows a week. They do I guess they do the Saturday show, which is the game the game preview, and then they do the reaction show on Monday or Tuesday, depending when the Raiders play. And they asked me on previewing the Bills game on Saturday night, and then they asked me back on Monday talking about the game that just happened, and it was a lot of fun. And they said they'll probably have me on again. But I just want to give a shout out to them, because if you're not part of the Silver and Black UK fan group and you're a contributing member, please do so, because you get some great swag.
Yeah, no,
when
actually
you do that too. So
I
just want to give a shout out to those guys. They're doing a great job and helping out a lot. So I've been a founding member actually since they first started, when I went to go see the Raiders play in London in 2014, and I joined up then, and I'm still a member.
Yeah, I just want to give a quick shout out to those guys. You've told me a lot about them. They're very cool. A couple of them I'm friends with online, and I did watch your appearance on there. They do a good job. Their job, for Raiders fans.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. Good tight show. Good questions, and they know their stuff. And they asked this weirdo on there, so it was nice.
Yeah. Well, keeping a type show, we're gonna go through the week 4 scores just real quick. Thursday night, Broncos beat the Jets in a game nobody cared about. Then you had the Panthers looking a lot better, 31-21 over the Cardinals. The Colts just put a stomp to the Bears. Their defense is really, really good. They've only allowed 28 rush yards in that game. The Bengals get their first win. Congrats to Joe Burrow. He's looking sharp. The Browns dismantled the Cowboys. That game was not as close as the score indicated, but they won 49-38.
In Cowboys home too, right? Yeah.
Odell Beckham was channeling his inner Giants days.
How many yards does Dak Prescott have to throw to,
Yeah, we're gonna get to that. We're gonna get to that in a little bit. The Saints topped the Lions 35-29. The Vikings beat the Texans 31-23, and there's some major fallout from that game we're gonna get to. The Seahawks beat the Dolphins 31-23. The Buccaneers come back. Tom Brady throws 5 touchdown passes, and the Buccaneers win 38-31. The Ravens beat the football team 31-17. A little bit of fallout from that game too.
The Washington football team.
Yeah, well, I'm trying to keep things safe. The Rams beat the Giants 17-9. We'll get to the Raiders and Bills in a moment. The Eagles on Sunday night, first place in the NFC East with a 1-2-1 record, beat the 49ers 25-20. Couple of Monday night games here. The actual Monday night game, the Packers beat the Falcons 30-16, and we'll get to the other events of Monday night here momentarily. And a mandatory bye for the Titans and Steelers, thanks to a little COVID action, which we're going to talk about here shortly. But Kevin, let's talk about our teams and how things went in week 4. Let's start with your Raiders as they played on Sunday. Before you get started, I want to say this, and I know that Raiders fans are feeling down about a lot of things that went down, but you guys were playing a very good Buffalo team undermanned, and you stayed in that game for most of that game. I think there are things in that game to be proud of if you're a Raiders fan.
I'm more happy that there was no quit in the team. I think that was one thing that of the turnovers that we had that killed us basically, and being on third string and second string players, there was no quit in that team. They played hard, so I am happy for that. And Carr did play well. Obviously not well enough because our defense is not good right now. They're not gelling. Of course, I think most defenses right now in the NFL aren't doing well, but ours is not. It's hard. I don't like to say it, injuries are the reason why we're not doing well, because it's next man up, and there's no sympathy for that. Even John Gruden said that. But I was happy that there was no quit in the team, but when it comes down to it, we shot ourselves in the foot. Penalties, and we're creeping back with us, and turning the ball over was just crucial. And that bomb to Aguilar was great, a touchdown run, but then it was pulled back because of a stupid penalty.
Yeah.
So
you got not shoot yourself in the foot. But like I said, I'm going to give your boys some credit, because they kept that Bills were playing really good football, and they kept that game close with a lot of injuries. You had neither
the Bills we made the Bills look good. The Bills didn't play a great game. We were able to keep Josh Allen from running and being that type of threat. But we were in that game until we started coughing at the ball.
I don't think you guys want to. You guys don't want to see Stephon Diggs anytime soon either. So,
No.
but it was an interesting week for the Kansas City Chiefs. Going to be a big game. They were playing the Patriots, and about 2 days beforehand, it comes out Cam Newton has COVID. And the chaos started from there for Kansas City in this game. We thought maybe the NFL wasn't sure what they were going to do. And they said, okay, well, depending on test results, we'll either play it Monday or Tuesday. Luckily, test results came. Nobody else came positive for COVID before the game. They ended up playing the game Monday night. Now, I went into this game being cautious because there is one head coach who seems to be able to at least contain Patrick Mahomes, and that is Bill Belichick. He has done it since Mahomes has come into the league. Patrick has always struggled against the Belichick defense. He finds some kind of wrinkle that does that. And he did it again Monday night. And no Cam Newton. You were playing Brian Hoyer most of the game. And I mean, you're going into the third quarter, it was 6-3. And it should have been easily, if not the Patriots leading, the game should have been tied, except for Hoyer making a really bonehead mistake.
Patriots, I think, have an underrated defense.
I agree, considering all the players that they have sitting out because of COVID. I mean, that just goes to their coaching there. Kansas City was able to pull away thanks to the offense starting producing some really good defensive play, especially a great interception that bounced off Edelman that the Honey Badger grabbed and ran in for a touchdown. So Kansas City is now 4-0 and has become the first team in NFL history to start 4-0 for 4 straight seasons, which actually I was surprised that was what went down, because you would have thought, some of those Manning or Brady Patriots or Colts teams would have done that by now. So I was a little surprised by that stat. It's a big win, but it also leads us into, Kevin, it is Chiefs Raiders week. And
real quick though, how do you think it would have been different if Cam Newton played?
I think we would have had problems. I think the way their defense was playing, and we had no Chris Jones in that game. Now, I don't know if they were just being precautious with him because he has a groin injury again. And if Cam would have played, would they put him in? It's hard to say, but I do think Chris Jones would have made a difference in that game too. But we could have won it, but I think it would have been more of a toss up, because that game, New England's always going to bring it, no matter what. As long as Belichick's the coach, New England's going to bring it. So, but we are looking at Chiefs Raiders week. We're going to get to that when we talk about week 5. But Kevin, let's talk about the NFL news, because it's been a weird few days, really couple week now with COVID. That today it's been all over the place. Raiders announced that one of your defensive linemen, Maurice Hurst, has tested positive for COVID. So I know that it
figures too, because Mo Hurst played well last weekend, and he's been one of our standouts that have been healthy, one of our starters, and of course he goes out with COVID.
Well, I want to ask you this, and I haven't said anything about it because I didn't want to make a huge deal out of it, but under the circumstances, you had another issue with some COVID and some fines.
Darren Waller hosted a wonderful charity event regarding a program that he's working with, with people with substance abuse problems, something that's near and dear to his heart. And Derek Carr was there, Nathan Peterman was there, a lot of members of the offense were there, and they were careless and not wearing masks after a while and posing for pictures and stuff like that. Video got out, of course. And then, of course, prior to that, Gruden got fined for not wearing a mask properly on that Monday night game. So they, of course, got, talking to by Gruden and the rest of the group about doing things right. And, of course, fines came down. Raiders got, I think Waller got fined the most, and the rest of the people got fined there as well. So we got fined a lot for not taking this a little bit more seriously. And I'm hoping now that luckily it was just a fine, because if I think the NFL is cracking down big time on this, and if they do it again, I think they could lead to ejections and stuff like that.
Much more severe. We're going to get to that in a second. Another big player actually tested positive for COVID. The reigning NFL Defensive Player of the Year, Stephon Gilmore, tested positive today for COVID. The Patriots actually shut down their practice, and I think that's because of Cam. But this got a little scary for Chiefs fans, because after the Monday night game, Stephon Gilmore and Patrick Mahomes gave each other the bro hug. And so a lot of people are like, in a little bit of panic mode right now in
Well,
Kansas
the
City.
Raiders had played the Patriots previously, and
Eh,
with Cam Newton, and he came down with COVID, and I was like, oh my God, is Max Crosby, who sacked him twice, is he
eh,
going to come down with it? So it's really tough to kind of trace where it is, but they have those little bracelet things that they
mhm.
wear when they're not playing, so they can track where the players were and who they were next to, and definitely make it a priority to see, retest those people that they were around to see if they got infected or not. So overall, they're doing a good job with how many active players there are in the NFL. For the amount of people that we do have infected with COVID, I think is okay compared to what it could have been.
Yeah. But the big team being affected by COVID right now is the Tennessee Titans. Their game against the Steelers actually got moved into bye weeks and situations like this. And they had 18 players and personnel test positive for COVID. They actually went a couple of days without, and now today they've had two more players test positive for COVID, putting their game against the Buffalo Bills in jeopardy. I'm gonna real quick. Murph, our good buddy Murph, who Raiders fan radio, but also lives in that area, so he's very, very well aware of the Titan situation. If there's any insight you can drop on this on Twitter or something like that, I would love to maybe get some insider info from
Yeah,
you.
Corey Davis got on the COVID list, one of their leading receivers.
Yeah,
It's it sounds like a little bit of mishandling of the situation.
well,
I don't think, I mean, all of the players are getting retested for this, obviously. I don't think that game will be pushed unless a bunch more break out. We'll see.
Well, with two more getting today, it has put the game in doubt. The NFL has said if they have any more players test positive, they might go to extremes. Roger Goodell is not real happy because the Tennessee Titans broke protocol.
Yeah.
They
Yeah, they
footage
did.
video footage came out today from a local like college that shows a group of Tennessee Titan football players, in
Including
a
Tannehill, right?
yeah, including Ryan Tannehill, and in
Yeah.
a unsanctioned NFL practice, got together and practiced together, breaking protocol. Roger Goodell has laid out that if a team breaks protocol again severely like this, and they have to, it will not be a postponement of the game. It will be a forfeiture of the
Yeah.
game. So
Yeah.
hopefully that's going to be a wake up call to a lot of these teams. Kevin, I'm going to ask you this seriously. If we start seeing more players over the next few days break out with COVID, do we need to look at the NFL maybe shutting down for a week or two just to get things back under control?
It's a case by case basis. If there's a large breakout among several teams, then maybe. But when you got a few players on teams that are not playing by the rules, handle it case by case basis. I don't think that is a necessary thing. But if there's a breakout and it gets really bad, then yeah, they need to step back and recheck everyone and kind of then do that maybe, but not right now.
Yeah, let's go see how it plays out. I think if we have one or two more teams who get hit like the Titans have, it's a whole different ball game. But let's talk about some of the fallout from the week 4, and it starts in Washington, where Dwayne Haskins has been benched, and the Redskins are going to start me. Apparently, Kyle Allen is back starting.
The former quarterback for the Carolina Panthers, right?
Yeah, this has actually been fairly controversial in Washington from what I've seen on the social media. A lot of people aren't real happy with this decision, saying Haskins hasn't got a fair shot at this yet. He's only.
Did people look at the passes he was making? I was looking at some of those lowlights, man. I was just like, what is he doing? I mean, you can't, if you're a starting quarterback in the league and you do stuff like that, and your team is 1-2 or going on 1-3, if you get a serviceable quarterback, yeah, play him.
Well, I think there's more to this, and it's actually something I'm rooting for that happens out of this. Is that I think Kyle Allen might play one game, maybe even one half if he struggles, and we will get to see Alex Smith return to the field because he is the backup quarterback now in Washington. And talk about a feel-good story if that happens. That's all.
True, but I want to see Kyle Allen as well. I want to see all these guys do well, and I'd love to see Kyle Allen. I like that guy. I think he
Yeah,
had a
no,
good run,
I do I do too. But I got a soft spot in my heart for Alex Smith. But
of course.
But Kevin, there's one other thing. I've got an alarm. We've had our first coach down. Coach down. Bill O'Brien, who is not only the head coach, but the GM of the Houston Texans has been fired from both positions by the team owner.
Dude had too much power, man.
Yeah,
Too
dude had
much
too much
power.
power, and I think he flexed it a little too much because the reports are coming out now that sometime last week he got into a screaming match with JJ Watt.
Yeah.
You're not gonna win that battle.
No, and aren't the Texans 0-4 now, or one?
They're 0-4 and catch.
0-4.
They made that crazy Hopkins trade in the offseason that everybody's still scratching.
Yeah.
They didn't even get a first round pick out of that trade.
Yeah.
I'm like,
yeah.
so this does not shocking. I think Dan Quinn is probably next on the list down in Atlanta.
Who's now the coach for? Is it the offensive coordinator? Who is
defensive coordinator Romeo Crennel?
Oh, I know that guy. Yep.
Yeah, I have a unfortunate experience with him in Kansas City, but you know what? It's going to be a house cleaning in Houston when the offseason comes. But we've got some injuries too. We got some Kevin. Will the last running back that heads to IR turn off the lights? Because it's going to be the last running back in the league, apparently, because we had two more big ones go down this week. First of all, the Browns lose Nick Chubb for several weeks. He got rolled up on in that game. That's a shame. That Chubb was having a great start to the season. But I think the Browns aren't as worried when Kareem Hunt is your backup.
This is true. He's resurfacing as a lead running back again.
Yeah. But the big one and this one kills me in my big CBS Sports league. Austin Eckler is out 4 to 6 weeks with a hamstring and hyperextended knee.
He was got a nice new contract, didn't he?
Yeah, he was having a nice season for them too. But here's what kills me, Kevin. In this league, my first overall pick was Saquon Barkley. My third overall pick was Austin Eckler.
Yeah, that sounds similar to one of mine. Yeah,
it's not good. I'm down to Phillip Lindsay and Myles Gaskin as my starting running backs right on that league.
Yes.
Another wide receiver could be missing a little more time. Julio Jones has been fighting hamstring problems for the last few weeks. In fact, he was supposed to play Monday night and aggravated it in pregame and missed the game Monday night. So the injuries are mounting, Kevin.
Yes. Yeah, definitely.
So, but that's going to cover the news. And with that, we're going to take a quick break to tell you what else is going on around the Fandom Podcast Network. And then we'll be back to take a look at week 5. And of course, it will be time for the Endzone standard greatest mediocre fantasy football advice. But for now, here's what's going on around the FP net.
Thank you for listening. We hope you're enjoying this podcast. We like to continue to feed your ears by inviting you to listen to the Fandom Podcast Network and all of the other awesome shows we have to offer. It starts with our flagship show, Culture Clash, our weekly pop culture news podcast. Bloody Kings, our Highlander podcast. Couch Potato Theater, our podcast celebrating our favorite movies. Time Warp, the Fandom Flashback podcast discussing a year in movies and our favorite pop culture topics. Endzone, the NFL podcast. Good Evening, an Alfred Hitchcock podcast. Union Federation, our Star Trek and Orville podcast. Hair Metal, the 80s and early 90s rock metal podcast. Type 40, our Doctor Who podcast. Lethal Mullet, a 1980s and 90s action film podcast. What a Piece of Junk, a Star Wars podcast. And our newest show, Making Treks, a new Star Trek podcast with a deep dive into the final frontier with host Mark Newbold and Adam P. O'Brien. You can enjoy all of these great Fandom Podcast Network shows on our master feed at fpnet.podbean.com. Fandom Podcast Network is also on Apple Podcast, iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, Spotify, and iHeartRadio. You can also find us on Facebook under Fandom Podcast Network. You can also email us at fandompodcastnetwork@gmail.com. You can also find us on Instagram and Twitter under Fandom Podcast Network. Thank you for listening, and remember, respect others and enjoy your fandom. I want to give a shout out to Jennifer. She says that, I have Chubb McCaffrey on my CBS league, and that's why I'm 0 for 4. She has Julio and Goodwin as well.
Do we have sympathy for the Queen? No, we don't have sympathy for the Queen. Root for your football team. Well, we are going to take a quick look at week 5. it's a special week, of course, because it is Chiefs Raiders week. We'll get to that here in momentarily, but let's go run down the slate of the rest of the games. Thursday night, it's a little bit more standable than last week's Jets Broncos fair. Tampa Bay at Chicago. Tampa Bay favored by 3.5. Kevin, Tom Brady, he's always ratings. I don't know why, but
Yeah, I can't wait till he comes to Vegas.
Then moving on to Sunday, we have Carolina at Atlanta. Atlanta's favored by 2. I have no reason why I would ever favor Atlanta at this point because they will.
It's at Atlanta, that's why, and Carolina is not good. So
happy for Teddy Bridgewater. He's playing some good football right now.
Yeah, I mean Carolina is 2-2 and Atlanta is 0-4. So
yeah, if the game happens, Denver at New England. Denver's a disaster area right now with injuries. New England's not going to have Cam Newton again. Now it looks like they'll be without Stephen Gilmore, their best defender, but I'm still taking New England. I don't know if they'll cover the 10.5 point spread on that, but and of course it looks like New England found another running back to add to that ultra monster that, I mean, was it like 9 running backs they have now?
Yeah, I'm tired of starting running backs on fantasy that belong to New England.
Yeah, exactly. We've got the Rams at the Redskins. Rams favored by 7. Rams are just rolling right now. Washington's a mess. So, and I said Redskins, I meant Washington football team. It's going to happen, folks. Sorry.
Yes,
Jacksonville is at Houston, who's going to debut their new coach, Romeo Crennel. Houston's a disaster area right now. They could get Minshew'd, Kevin. Houston's actually favored by 6. I got me on that. Buffalo, if this happens, this is maybe the marquee game of the week. The undefeated Buffalo Bills are favored by 8 at the Tennessee Titans. I guess this depends on who's going to play for the Titans and who's not. Again, if this game even gets played. Arizona at the Jets, move along. Philadelphia at Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh coming off a bye week that they really didn't want to have, but they did. Pittsburgh's undefeated and they're looking sharp, Kevin. They're going to be a factor in the AFC before it's all said and done. Cincinnati's at Baltimore. I just hope Joe Burrow survives this game. I like Joe Burrow, but he's getting killed.
Baltimore's favored by 13.
Yeah. Miami's at San Francisco. Could be Tua time before that game is over.
Yeah.
So, the Giants are at Dallas. The battle for first place in the NFC East.
Is that where we are with that? Hold on, let me look at this. Philadelphia, yeah, pretty much. Philadelphia's 1-2-1, Washington's 1-3-0, Dallas is 1-3-0, and the Giants are 0-4. So yeah, pretty much.
and a game of 2 3-1 football teams that actually has some intrigue now. Best defense in the league. And if you haven't watched Indianapolis play defense, they're really good on defense.
Yeah, they are.
Darius Leonard is stud, and they are going to Cleveland and to face Baker Mayfield, Odell, Kareem Hunt, and the Brownie Bunch.
Indianapolis is only favored by 1.5 currently. So yeah.
That could be an interesting game. Sunday night, Minnesota goes to Seattle. Russell Wilson's going to continue his MVP campaign this year. I'm thinking he's the leader in the clubhouses. We're at the quarterway part of the season.
Yeah.
And for some reason, Kevin, the Saints seem to be the team we can't get rid of off of our national television experience.
I know. They just had a Sunday night game, right?
Yeah.
And they had a Monday night a couple weeks ago with the Raiders, and now they're again at Monday night at home.
And week 1 was the national televised game because it was Brady versus Breeze. The Chargers, and I got to say this about the Chargers. They found a quarterback. Justin Herbert came into Tampa, and I got to watch a lot of that game. That kid's got something.
Yes, he does. He does have something. He is looking very promising, and it's sad when I'm happy for another quarterback in our division.
Yeah, that's what you want to see, another young quarterback in your division, which of course leads into the fact that yes, it is Raiders Chiefs week, but this is a weird Raiders Chiefs game. It's just got a weird vibe to it for me, Kevin. For me,
why is that, Kyle?
Well, no, seriously, on the Chiefs side, this feels like a legit trap game for the Chiefs. They
really?
Seriously, hear me out.
That's a good one, Kyle. That's a good one.
Hear me out.
The trap game. Yeah, I want to hear this one.
Okay, so
oh my God, that's good. Oh wow. Okay, I want to hear this.
Okay, so
Why does this game against the Las Vegas Raiders feel like a trap game?
well, for one, we just played Baltimore, New England, basically what a lot of teams people consider the two biggest rivals to the Chiefs for the AFC. Had the whole oddball COVID thing, so it's going to be a short week now. They play after the Raiders game. They play the Buffalo. They go to Buffalo and play the Buffalo Bills Thursday night, which could be a battle of two undefeated teams in that game, possibly. But that could they take the Raiders for a little bit for granted? The Raiders have played feisty in every game. They've been competitive, Kevin. You, I know you've got injuries and things like that, but I'm just saying
we got a lot of injuries.
And when we've talked about this every year, but there is truth to this. When the Chiefs and the Raiders play, it doesn't matter the records. Weird things happen, and the game goes wonky. But then again, I think your entire secondary is injured, and Patrick Mahomes is probably a little angry about how he performed.
Our offensive line is injured. Our starting receivers are injured. It's insane, dude. It is really insane how bad and banged up our team is. You guys, as I said in that post, you guys are going to put up 50 on us right now, and then you're going to rest Mahomes in the fourth quarter and put up another 20 on us.
I'm not falling
into
that.
This is not a trap game. This game, I was agreeing with Murph on Raiders Fan Radio. This game is going to change careers at the Las Vegas Raiders. I guarantee it. Okay, we're going to get our asses. Let me finish. We're going to get our asses handed to us. Because there's going to be a lot of attention on this game because of this rivalry and how bad that the Raiders always play versus the Chiefs and how Carr can never win against the Chiefs. And Paul Gunther is on the hot seat right now, and we have a bye week after this. So stuff is going to happen. It's I am not feeling this game at all. I'm not feeling positive about this game. We're going to get our asses handed to us by your Chiefs, and stuff's going to change.
Okay, so I'm going to ask then, could this be the final ride of Derek Carr?
Not Derek Carr per se, but I think that if he does not perform well and he does stupid stuff again, it doesn't matter what the defense is. Everyone's looking at Carr on this because Carr needs to step up and be something that he's not right now. He's a John Gruden yes man. And John Gruden needs to change as well. And right now, I could see our defensive coordinator on the hot seat big time after this horrible loss that I see forthcoming. I see for the Raiders to beat your Chiefs is going to be a miracle. And I'm talking about like miracle USA versus the Russia back in the 80s type of miracle.
Are you and Murph having nightmares of Tyreek Hill in your secondary?
No, it has nothing to do with that. That's yeah, no.
Well, no,
when you look at what's on paper and what's been proven and seen thus far, our defense is horrendous right now. With injuries on both sides of the ball, this is a joke. This is an honest joke. And you guys have fun because if it takes a horrible loss for good changes to start happening for the Raiders to this game, fine, be it. But going into the Chiefs, we're going to be walking into that bye week limping. Sorry.
Okay. Now, let me ask you about I just real quick before we move on from this. I do want to ask you about the injuries because are Ruggs and Edwards both still going to be out for this game?
Ruggs probably. Edwards is questionable right now. But we have Tyrell Williams done for the season.
Yeah.
Both our young rookie starting receivers, both were out last week and are hurt. Okay. There's several more. And also too, our running back, Josh Jacobs, is playing limping hurt all the time. Our three offensive starting linemen not in there. We finally got one back last week. We finally got Kukowski back. Our best lineman, Mo Hurst, who got great pressure, out with COVID. It's just sad, man. It really, really is.
Well, now too, actually, what area I was going to go, your secondary is just devastated by injury right now, more than maybe except
Not
maybe
just
your
that, but they're young too. You know, I
yeah.
mean, Abrams is playing with heart. And I love that. He's playing tough. He got torched a couple of games ago though, but he did a little bit better. But he's playing hurt. He's got a chipped shoulder because of that cart that he ran into on that Monday night game. So I mean, it's bad, dude. Our defense is not fun to watch right now,
Yeah.
and Carr and Gruden are playing too conservative football. In order for us to have a chance, not only is a miracle involved, but they can't go for 2 4th and 2s. We did not go for it in that game,
Yeah.
and we were down. We weren't playing to win that game. We were playing to either tie or not lose badly. Against your team, we got to just mix it up. We got to throw some plays out there. I was watching your game, and it's depressing to Raider fans to watch how well your play calls on your team. Even that one where like Mahomes pretends to like give the ball off to Edwards, right? And he kind of hides the ball behind him and fakes
Yeah.
it out, and then and then you see how it affects the defense, and then he throws it back to Edwards. I mean, little things
Yeah.
like that we just don't see the Raiders do. It's depressing, man. Have fun, kill us.
Yeah. I got to give a quick shout out to our buddy Stevie McLeod. He had a great comment on Facebook about how nice it was for the Patriots to get the wrong calls, not go their way. And I said, so I messaged him. I said, are you telling me that the Patriots getting screwed is the lesser two evils for Raiders fans? He's like, in this case, absolutely. Yes. We always want to see the Patriots get screwed. So I got a laugh out of that. So shout out to Stevie McLeod. But Kevin, let's move on. Let's talk about some top-notch, mediocre fantasy football advice. That is what we do here at the End Zone. Better than, well, more mediocre than anybody else. Let's put it that way. But it starts, of course, with our Gardner Minshew II man crush fantasy players of the week. Jimmy Garoppolo's still out, so and you know what? I'm sorry, Gardner won me over with the ESPN ad. I'm sorry.
This is true. Yeah.
So
He's dreamy.
Yeah. My Gardner Minshew fantasy crush is Dak Prescott. Dude went 41 for 58, completing 70.7% of his passes for 502 yards, 4 touchdowns, and 1 interception, and lost.
Yeah.
What does this guy got to do? Is he going to be? Is he turning into the stat quarterback that can't win a game?
Is he going to get paid?
I don't know if he's going to get paid. At least not by Dallas. Yeah, but my question is this: if the Jets didn't exist, would Dallas actually consider to start tanking and going for thinking about Trevor Lawrence?
I'll take Dak.
Yeah. I'm sure you would in a heartbeat. My runner-up this week is Odell Beckham. Same game, had a huge game. A beautiful wide receiver pass from Jarvis Landry to Odell. He had a huge reverse run for a touchdown. It looked like the Odell Beckham from the New York Giants days, but he is my runner-up. Kevin, you have a man crush of the week?
I like to pick players on my teams if I can, and I lost all 5 of my fantasy games.
It was that kind of week.
All 5 of my fantasy games. It was not good. And I was leading a lot going into like those Monday night games and stuff. And then it's just like, whatever. But I started looking at a player that I picked up on free agency on one of my teams. You know how you have a good quarterback, Kyle, is when you have your starting receivers out of the game and you throw touchdowns to rookies or players that never caught a pass in the NFL ever.
Yeah.
You know who did that? The Packers. Aaron Rodgers did that. That's why he's a good quarterback, because he makes other people look good. And it doesn't, let me finish. No. It doesn't matter who he plays. I don't care if it was Atlanta. He had the cards stacked against him when it came to not having good receivers, but he did have one guy, and he is my man crush of this week. And that is Robert Tonyan, the tight end. He went for 6 for 98 and 3 touchdowns.
Are you making Aaron Rodgers your runner up though?
No, I'm just making a point that when you're a good quarterback, you're a good quarterback. When you're a mediocre quarterback, guess what? You're a mediocre quarterback.
Funny little Aaron Rodgers story. I think it was the Dan Le Batard show he was on a couple days ago, and they asked him, about these last couple down years, and his response was, Well, considering my down years are career years for most quarterbacks.
Yeah, he's a good quarterback for many reasons. He can score points with anyone playing because he's good.
I think Kevin has some quarterback issues he needs to work out in therapy.
I'm not bitter. Yeah, I am.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, do you have a runner-up man crush, or should we just move along?
No, my team sucks. Screw you all.
Wow. We're already to that point in the season. They're 2-2, and we're at this point in the season. Okay. Let's talk about some top waiver wire names, Kevin. We talked a little bit earlier about the monster, the 9-headed running back monster that is New England. Quick shout out to James White. Glad to see him back on the field after some horrific personal tragedy befell him with his parents in a car accident that took his father. So I was glad to see him out in the field. But Damian Harris, the running back from the Patriots, who they just activated off IR, busted out for 100 yards against the Chiefs on Monday night, and looks to be maybe.
No. He's a running back for the Patriots. Stay away from him. He is going to be quiet for 5 weeks and then score 3 touchdowns in a game.
But wait, Kevin, he has an inside track that every other Patriots running back has never had.
What's that?
He played for Nick Saban at Alabama.
And that doesn't matter. He's under another regime. I'm gonna say no. Stay away from him, even though I picked him up in the league just because I'm so running backs right now. But I can't recommend it. I picked him up just because I'm so hurting. I don't have a choice,
Yeah.
So I'm sorry. I can't endorse any Patriots running back. I picked up Rex Burkhead after he torched us. What did he do? Nothing. Sonny Michel. He's ruined.
Yeah, he's on IR. He might be done.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
We also have Joshua Kelly, the rookie running back from the Chargers, who looks to inherit the starting job for the next 4 to 6 weeks while Eckler's out. But that also means Justin Jackson, the running back for the Chargers, who actually had a decent year last year, is going to get a lot more play. He just came off of IR. So both of those are good options at running back.
Real quick, wide receiver Scotty Miller for Tampa Bay. He seems to be a favorite of Tom. And with some injuries regarding wide receiver, he's still available in a lot of leagues.
Kevin just talked about this guy, a certain tight end, Kevin.
Grunion, right? Is that his name?
Tunyon. Robert Tunyon.
Tunyon, yes. Tunyon.
Why? Go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
I was just going to say, Bengals wide receiver T. Higgins. He's getting more.
I was just going to mention him.
Yep. Offense, and AJ Green might be done. So.
Yeah. Also, I want to mention running back for the Cleveland Browns, Ernest Johnson as well. He's he had a nice little breakout game, and he's young and hungry, and I think he's worth a bench stash.
Yeah, I think so too, especially because I've heard rumors that Kareem Hunt is nursing a little bit of a groin situation too, so they might not run him as hard.
Also, too, Laviska Shenault Jr., one of the wide receivers for Jacksonville, has quietly been very consistent and a favorite target of Minshew Mania.
Kevin loves the mustache, the Minshew mustache.
Man, damn that dude. The headband, too, that he's got, and the wavy hair. Oh, man.
Kevin,
he can rock out to a lip sync of Celine Dion. Come on!
Yeah, finally we have wide receiver for the 49ers, Brandon Ayuk, their number 1 draft pick. He's starting to get more incorporated in the offense. They're using him on a lot of run game too, kind of like what they're doing.
He's like / running back wide receiver. It's crazy.
Yeah. They're kind of doing what they did with Deebo Samuel last year, and Samuel's still out on injury. But those are what I consider the top pickups. Any other names out there, Kevin, that I may have missed?
I just want to mention, if you're also needing some tight end help too, I see him on waiver wires. Dalton Schultz, a tight end for Dallas Cowboys. He's also been very productive and a favorite target for Dak. So pick him up.
I got one too. A lot of people were giving up on Gronk because he wasn't getting any production. OJ Howard of the Buccaneers is out for the season with an Achilles tear. Gronk's going to start seeing some more action.
Who's the other tight end on that team?
Cameron Brate.
That's right, Brate. Yep. Okay.
So, well, let's talk about how we did real quick in fantasy football. Kevin, you said it was a rough week for you.
I lost all my games.
Yeah.
But I guess we should look at maybe the standings here let's do this real quick. How did you do on your fantasy teams? And I'll talk about the standings.
In my main CBS Sports League, it was rough with Eckler going down. George Kittle put a valiant effort into trying to get me back in that game. It was just too much down. I'm getting killed at quarterback. I drafted Drew Brees. He's turning into a fantasy bust. I just picked up Justin Herbert, and he will probably be starting for me against the Saints on Monday night this week.
Gotcha. Well, the ESPN No Trophy League this year, right now in the East League, Kyle, you are tied with SB Career Killer and Whoopertall Frogs at 2-2. In the West Division, I am last place at 1-3 with the Beatdown, Jennifer the Beatdown, leading at 4-0.
That's all Dak Prescott.
She's got Dak Prescott, Jacobs, Johnson, Hopkins, Thielen, Lockett, Ingram, the Rams defense. Yeah, she's doing well. Got some good people on the bench as well. As for the CBS league that we are in right now, Kyle, I'm like third from the end there at 1-3, and that's one that Jennifer's not doing well in. She's at 0-4.
Yeah, I like the CBS league.
Yeah, Jeff Alexander, Sithmaster, Vader Nation, Burks, and you, Rogue Squadron, and Scottish Raider all tied at 3-1. So yeah, I'm at 1-3. I'm not giving up unless I lose a couple more.
I want to ask you real quick, Kevin, before we get out of here. We're a quarter of the way into the season. How are you liking the CBS Sports League?
When it comes to the mobile app, it's not as intuitive as like the ESPN one and the Yahoo ones. I guess what I miss most specifically from the Yahoo ones is when you want to search for trends. It just says projections. I'm having trouble finding out like who has the most ads, and ESPN does that. Also Yahoo does that, and CBS, I'm not finding that on the app. And that's frustrating because the most ads tells you another opportunity and another angle at what players are hot right now that not necessarily the projections are giving you, because I don't like the projections that the CBS stuff is giving me. I'll be honest with you. Maybe it's just because I don't have the scoring set a little bit higher like I usually do in the other ones, but I'm not a fan right now. Exactly. But I still want to probably do it again next year though.
Yeah, I like the extras they gave you, like with the game analytic stories after the game and some of the titles they come up with for the articles and stuff like that. When you get the article about the game,
right.
That's rather fun. But well, we're gonna wrap this up here. It's been a fun week here in the End Zone. I'm just gonna say I hope the Chiefs aren't. I hope the Chiefs don't put it in the end zone too many times on you, Kim, because I don't.
No, you don't. Shut up. Come on.
I'm trying to be nice.
This is a perfect time for the Chiefs to pad all their stats. I'm going to probably see Patrick Mahomes thrown from behind his back, underneath his leg. It's going to be insane. Let me be honest with you. Let me be perfectly honest with you. I'm actually not excited about watching this game.
Oh, I can understand. I
am not feeling this game right now. It is going to take a freaking miracle for the Raiders to sniff a victory in here. It's going to be, I think it's going to be a humiliating game for the Raiders, and I'm not looking forward to that.
I'm still
sorry.
Scared of
that's how I feel.
Yeah,
I have no optimism going into this game whatsoever.
And I still have trap game scare. So
whatever.
With that, we got Kevin to laugh at the end of the show, so we're going to leave it at that. I hope everybody has a great weekend, that your team finds plenty of ways to once again get into the end zone.